In this game, I was facing Biswanath Anand in 2014, and well, one of the lessons I want to teach you in this game is that you should try to feel comfortable. It's not enough to look at the openings in the way that you know that the computer is saying you're equal or you're slightly better or whatever. You need to feel comfortable with the position. You need to feel the position a little bit well. You need to understand it. It's not just that simple. And for doing that, I recommend especially to check the openings a little bit on the board, not only on the computer, because when in the computer you don't feel the fear because the engine is working and he's solving all your problems. And like this is very easy to play, but once you're over the board without the engine, you're gonna see what is worrying you. And if someone is helping you, it's gonna be perfect because this person can use the computer, and this person can tell you what is happening when you ask him, what about this move, what about this idea or something. And when you do this for a little while, you're going to understand the position much better, and you're going to see if you actually like the position and you feel comfortable. And this is a game that shows very well that I wasn't very comfortable here, and I got a position where I was actually passive, and it was difficult to play for me, and I lost the game without even giving a check, without even trying to do anything. It looked so easy. I lost, and I went to the hotel after the game, and I felt a little bit hopeless, like, wow, what happened here? I couldn't even react at any moment. I didn't have any chance. And it was, I mean, he played a good game, but it wasn't something very impressive. I saw, I don't know if all of his moves coming, but most of his moves coming. It wasn't a big some great moves or something, but well, he played very simple, and he won the game very convincingly. And well, let's see what happened. Okay, d4, d5, c4, dc4. I'm not really sure why I decided to take on c4 here. I prepared this, of course, before the game, but on the other hand, I wasn't very experienced with that. And well, the problem is when you face someone like Anand, he has so much experience. He's so well prepared in the openings, and he's gonna create you trouble in every opening, basically every defense you play. And sometimes you want to escape from something he has somewhere, and in the end your choice is even worse. This happens often, and sometimes if you really I'm not sure what you're doing with the surprise, because this is a little surprise against him, then go for your usual stuff. If you're gonna change something, and this can really go wrong, like this was the case, just try to play your usual stuff. Try to remember well your lines, and it cannot be so wrong sometimes. Normally, if you analyze okay with the computer, it's gonna help you to almost equalize. But here, well, basically everything went wrong because I had to remember lots of things with e3, with e4. He played e4, which is the most aggressive move. And I played this rare line, knight c6, because I was checking e5, but I couldn't really make it work completely. I thought black is suffering a little bit. And so I decided, okay, if I'm gonna suffer, at least let's play something new against him. Well, not new, of course, but something not played not so often, like knight c6. But on the other hand, he's a player who is working a lot, who is well prepared, and who is a very tough opponent. And he wasn't that surprised after all. He played quite fast, knight f3, and I was like, wow, maybe this wasn't the best idea. So surprising with something that is dubious, and that is actually not a surprise, something really went wrong. So I played bishop g4, d5. This was all in my preparation. Knight e5, he played bishop f4, this is all well known. I played knight g6, bishop e3, e5, bishop c4, and then I played knight f6 now. There are strange moves like knight h4, and then he can play something like rook g1. It might be possible as well, but after this game, I must admit I'm not a big fan of this line anymore. I've lost badly, and I didn't really have much chances, so the feelings are also important. I mean, you need to feel good about the position, and it's going to be difficult to feel good after you see this game, because you're going to see how easy and how clean you can lose a game, and it's a little bit sad, yeah. So, okay, I played knight f6. He played knight c3, the most normal move, and I've played a6. Now once more, computer is suggesting knight h4. Maybe it's not a stupid idea, at least to create some problems, because well, you can actually try to double pawns on. I mean, you're threatening knight g2, and if not, at least you can double pawns on f3, and you'll have something to fight for. This was a better idea, definitely better. Because what happened in the game, I played a6, bishop e2, bishop d6, and knight d2. And this actually came to me as a surprise. And it's a very common move, and it has been even played. So Vishy even remembered the game, and he played it quite fast. And he, of course, in his mind, he could not even understand why on earth would I go for this, because this is a well-known position that has been just better for white, and it's supposed to be better, and well, why to play it with black? It's strange. And here I started to think, and I realized I really hate my position, and that's not a good thing. When you just started the game, you need to play 3-4 more hours, and you already hate your position in the minute 15. So, well, I decided to take on e2, but there is no better option. If you go back to d7, just castle, and then this knight might come to c4, a5, or even to be changed on d6. The rook comes to c1, then sometimes comes queen b3, or even a plan like a3, b4 to win some space on the queen side. And black has not really much to do here on the king side. Sometimes you can jump to f4, but this can even be protected with g3, and also jumping to f4 and changing pieces. The problem of this position is the structure is just weak. The structure is worse for black in any case, because this d5 pawn against this c7 pawn is just gonna give a little edge for white all the time. So it's a little bit sad position, yeah. Well, I played bishop e2, queen e2. Now I played castle. It's normal castle, and I played queen e7 here. But honestly, I was thinking about what to do, and on every line I found a problem. And it's hard to play like this. I mean, when you find a problem on every line, what to do? It's there is no escape, simply, and it's very hard. And I cannot really give a big advice about it, because if you just don't like anything, just try to keep it. I mean, at least to survive for some time, because maybe in the game he'll give you some chances. Maybe he'll not play all the moves that you are worried about. Maybe he'll give you some chances. The problem is sometimes you worry too much. You spend all your time trying to save from something that is not going to happen. So try to be a little bit practical in these difficult situations. And it doesn't mean you're going to save the game. Sometimes you're going to lose anyway. But at least if the opportunity comes, then you can have the time to save it. Well, I played queen e7. It doesn't really come to me like a very good move, because when you have to decide a plan, if you are going to play with c6, then the queen on e7, it's not so well, because then the knight might come to d5 and you will be in trouble with your queen on e7. So if you're going to play with c6, then queen e7 is not so good. And the other plan could be to play something like f5 or knight f4 to try to play on the king side. But I didn't really like this a lot as well. So maybe a move like rook c8 could be a little bit more precise. So I played queen e7. He played rook fd1, and now I played rook ac8. Maybe it was the time to play a little bit crazy, because you don't like the position, and this move knight f4, it's kind of funny at least, and maybe I would have created more problems for Anand here, because he's a very classical player, and if you just play standard, he's in a bad position, he's going to kill you without any trouble. But here at least, look at this idea, knight f4, queen f3, and now g5. And this is interesting, actually. This is, of course, a little crazy, but the idea is quite interesting, because now if, for example, g3, which looks normal, it's a wrong move, because g4, queen h1, and knight h3 check. And the position is quite unclear already, because the queen is badly placed on h1. In any case, after g3, you will always have the chance to just let the knight there. It's not going to be so bad, because then this bishop is trapped on e3 by the moment, at least. So it could be a possibility, but right now g3 is a bad move. So he could do other moves, I don't know, like rook e1 to try to escape with the queen to d1. But then I think you can try to create something here, although it looks quite dubious, with king h8, for example, knight f1, and this knight might come to g3. I'm not really sure if this would have helped a lot, but well, it's hard to say. Maybe you lose like an idiot when you play g5 and you just give the f5 square for free, and it's gonna look ridiculous too. So I'm not really sure this is the greatest idea, but at least it's something different. But look, I mean, it's a little bit depressive what happened in the game, because I lost so cleanly, so easy. I played rook ac8, and now my opponent plays g3, and it's super unpleasant to play here, because, well, now you don't even have this idea with knight f4. Your knights have no play. And c6 is also, as I said, it's with the queen here, it's not the best move. He can simply come with knight c4, for example. I tried to play h6 to at least prevent sometimes this bishop to come to g5. Now he played rook ac1, I played c6. It's the only idea. I mean, he can improve his pieces forever, and I don't really have a plan. But he can try to play something like a3, b4, knight c4, and then from here he can jump to a5 to provoke some weaknesses on b7, or to even take sometimes, and it's just a better position strategically. And it's very passive. So I decided, okay, it's time to do something. At least. And it's a correct decision. You cannot just wait forever. You need to do something. Yeah. So he played knight c4. Here he's trying to, well, take on d6, c6, and I will be in trouble. So I have to play probably c takes d5. He plays the simple knight d5, and rook d5. And here, well, the problem of black's position is that my knight on g6 is so bad. It has no future at all. I want him to come back to e7 at least, but as I said, this little inaccuracy, queen e7, it's only creating problems. And, well, I thought, okay, my position is bad. And, of course, if we compare knights, you see how bad is my position. But at least I thought, okay, let's try to change some pieces. At least I will try to survive with little material. So I played bishop c5, which looks like the natural move. And now he played a strong move. He simply played rook cd1. It's a very natural move, on the other hand, because he wants just to play rook d7. And, well, when I take on e3 to change a piece, then he takes with the knight. And he has a very nice square on f5 now. From here he can jump to d6 or create some tactical problems on g7 with the ideas of h4, queen g4 and h5. Okay, I played queen b4 here. I think it's a correct decision, normal decision, but the problem is position is strategically lost already. So, well, you need to try your best, but it's going to be tough, and sometimes your opponent is not going to give you a chance. And Vichy didn't give me many opportunities here, actually. He played knight f5. Total control. I have the c file, but this doesn't really help me a lot. I tried anyway to play rook c4, at least to create a little threat. This is the biggest threat I'm going to create in this game, so at least to do something. He played knight d6, but he didn't even need to, but he wants to keep it simple. He could play a3, rook e4, queen f3, and well, queen c4 is losing to knight d6, and rook e1 is losing probably to simply to king g2, then queen e4, take on e1, take on e1, and for example rook d1, queen a5 and queen b7, and the advantage is huge for white here. But why to give me all this? If you have a winning position, you don't really need to make it so complicated, and he didn't want to do it so complicated, so he just played knight d6. He stops all these little tricks, and now it was a little better for me to come to c7, but it's very hard for a human to decide whether this rook is better on c6 or c7, so I decided rook c6, which looks also natural. Then he played a3, queen b3, rook d3, chasing away my queen, played queen b6. Now he came back rook f5, and once more I have the c file, but that's the only thing I have, and I cannot fight in the d file. And this plan with h4, queen g4, h5, connected with the e7 square with rook d7, there is too many threats to stop with black, and there is basically no way to stop this. I played rook e8, rook d7. Now I cannot even bring my knight back because there is knight e7 check, and this is just destroying my position. Just simply knight d5, and then f7 is hanging. So I played rook f6, queen g4. He's giving the b2 pawn, but the problem is after h4 there is no defense against h5. So, well, I tried to create some trick with queen c6, h4, h5, queen h5, but this is not too complicated. It's just simple game for him. Queen e4 and now rook d8. It's an important move, but it's not a difficult one to find. Now if you go rook f8, simply to take, and after knight f8 there is mate knight e7 mate. So rook d8, queen c6, queen g5, and well, again h5 is coming and there is no way to stop it. So what I wanted to show in this game is that you need to feel comfortable with the position. I'm pretty sure if I have checked this position over the board, I would have realized how passive it is and how little chances you have to escape from this position. And there is not so much to do with black pieces there, and it's just waiting for someone to come and kill you. And so I'm a big fan of working over the board. But of course it's a little bit unpleasant sometimes, because you'll not have someone to move the pieces with you. You'll not have someone to help you sometimes, or you'll need to travel with the board, and it's not the most comfortable thing because you need to carry lots of things. I mean, there are of course problems there, but who said it's gonna be easy? I mean, you need to, if you want to be a great chess player, you need to go over many little problems, and this is one of it. And it's of course more comfortable to analyze always with the computer, with the super engine running. But I recommend you to go down to the board and to suffer a little bit and to see the openings you will play over the board and to feel these positions, because this is what in the end can save you many points. Here I'm absolutely sure if I had this position over the board before this game, not just before this game, but ever in my life, I haven't ever checked this ever in my life in a real board. I'm sure if I have done that, I wouldn't lose like this. Maybe I would have lost in a different way, but at least, well, you lose in a different way, you learn something. If you learn always the same way, it's bad. Yeah? So, okay, thanks for watching.